nice audience. Thank you for coming. Just lovely. It is so nice to be here. And do you like what I'm wearing? Yes? Thank you. The dress is by Oscar de la Yenta. The body is by Oscar Mayer. Oh, it's so hard. I try so hard. I just came back from a horrible booking in Billings, Montana. Have you ever been there? You have? So we can talk, can we? Women in high heels and socks. Oh, the 7-Eleven store was called 2-5. Yes, and you want to be good even though it's Billings, Montana. You want to be hot. I come on the stage, I look to where you are sitting. There was a woman in front of me, she was nursing a child. Do you find that normal? Oh, listen to this group. Well, so what? You find that normal that a woman walk into a nightclub and there's a child? Who would you watch? Me or the nursing mother? Who would you watch? The kid was 14 years old. Who would you watch? Oh. It turned out the kid wasn't hers, thank God. But I am so happy to be here. I had a facelift. Did you know that? You didn't know? I had a facelift and pulled too tight. Every time I cross my legs, my mouth snaps open. I've had Botox. Anybody here had Botox? Oh, sure. There is a lady in New York City. She does everybody's Botox. That's important. Her name is Dr. Pat Wexler. So now, it happened to be her birthday. You know, nobody wants to talk about that they did anything, but her office was packed on her birthday, and everybody was sitting there like, she never touched me. Oh, sure. The birthday cake comes out, Pat said, everybody sing, and we all sang. Hey, 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 ho, hey. She said, blow out the candles. We couldn't. It's so hard. Tonight, I decided I was going to look good. I'm wearing my push-up shove over brassiere. Do you know what that is? The push-up shove over? You take everything from down here, you shove it all the way up. These are my knees. Oh, you think I'm kidding, don't you? You think I'm kidding? Let me tell you something. You don't know. My boobies are falling so fast I could get a mammogram and a pedicure at the same time. Yes. See, this is me in the morning when I get up to go to the bathroom without a brassiere on. I use the left one in the tub for a stopper. What a nice audience you are. What a pleasure to play for you. Thank you. Joan Rivers. Well, welcome to my little show. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so excited to be here. I love to do all kinds of voices. This next voice, this lady has a voice that sounds like a foghorn. I think you know her. Her show ran for about 6 years and now it's in reruns. The Nanny, Fran Drescher.
She was working in a bridal shop in Flushing, Queens, till her boyfriend kicked her out in one of those crushing scenes. What was she to do? Where was she to go? She was out on her fanny. So over the bridge from Flushing to the Sheffield store, she was there to sell makeup, but the father's on walk. She had style, she had flair, she was there. That's how she became the nanny. Who would have guessed that the girl we described was just exactly what the doctor prescribed? Now the father works for a guy like John C.C. and the kids are actually smiling.
Hi, I'm Fran Drescher, and I want to tell you what's been going on. You know, my cousin Manny got engaged, so he says to his mother, Ma, before I introduce you to the woman of my dreams, I want to try something. I'm going to bring 3 women over to the house. They're going to sit and chat, and then I want to see if you can tell which one I'm going to marry. So he brings 3 women over to the house. They're sitting on the sofa, they're chatting, they're drinking coffee, and after a half an hour, he says, okay, Ma, can you tell which one I'm going to marry? Without a hesitation, she says, the redhead in the middle. He said, that's right, how could you tell? She says, I don't like her. But you know, he decided to marry her anyway, and he had a facelift, so he looked really good for the wedding. So he hid in his apartment for 3 weeks, and after he was healed, he went out to see how the public would accept it. He went to the newspaper stand and he says to the clerk, I hope you don't mind me asking, but how old do you think I look? He says, I would say you're 35. He says, I'm 47. The guy says, you look awesome. Well, now he's really excited, and he goes to lunch at McDonald's, and he says to the cashier, how old do you think I look? She says, you know, I would say you're about 29. He says, I'm 47. She says, you look amazing. Well, now he's so thrilled. He's on his way home, he's at the bus stop. He sees a lady standing there waiting. He says, I hope you don't mind me asking, but how old do you think I look? She says, Sonny, you know, I'm 87 years old. My eyes aren't so good anymore. But when I was a young gal, there was a sure way we could tell how old a fella is. But you gotta let me check in your trousers for 5 minutes. He looks around, he doesn't see anybody there. He says, okay, do your thing. She does her thing for 5 minutes. She says, I got it. You're 47 years old. She says, that's amazing. How could you tell? She says, I was standing behind you at McDonald's. This next lady was a classic actress, a legend in her own time. I think you're gonna know her. Hello. Hello. You happen to recognize who I am? Catherine Hepburn, that's right, darling. Thank you. Do you recognize the music that's playing? That's from a movie called On Golden Pond, that's right. I've had such a long and wonderful career. I think back to one of the best plays I did. It was in New York City at the Schubert Theater. And I was just amazed that it was starting room only, and there was a gentleman across the first row, lying across 4 seats. The usher came up to him and said, sir, you'll have to move. You're taking up 4 seats. The fellow went, ugh. Once again, the usher said, sir, you're taking up 4 seats. It's starting room only. The fellow went, ugh. Finally, the usher said, sir, where the hell did you come from? He said, the balcony. In 1967, I did a movie with the real love of my life called Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Do you know who the real love of my life was, darling? Spencer Tracy, that's right. Spencer Tracy and I were together for 27 years. His wife would not give him a divorce. And do you know that we just lived together, and he would make love to me every single week. Age meant nothing. Every week, he'd make love to me by the sound of the bells from the church next door. In with the dings, out with the dongs. If that friggin' fire truck hadn't passed by, he'd be alive today. One of the new nuns who lived on the other side of the church next door went to confession and said, Father, I've got a terrible confession to make. I wear nothing at all under my habit. Well, the priest chuckled and said, Sister Bernadette, that's not so terrible. Just say 3 Hail Marys, 3 Our Fathers, and do 3 cartwheels on your way to the altar. You're such a lovely audience, darlings. Thank you so much. Catherine.
I know you know me, don't you? I'm Carol Channing, and it's so nice to be here. You know, I am so happy. I'm traveling now, I'm on tour. I've got a new boyfriend. His name is Albert. He's 75 years old. He's a younger man. And I've never been so happy in all my life. He's 6'5", everywhere. See, and you know, we go shopping all the time. We just went to a sale. Macy's had a sale on underwear, and he says to me, Carol, should I buy boxers or briefs? I said, depends. And then we went out to lunch, you know, and we were sitting there enjoying it, and there was a table with a fella sitting there with 6 kids all around him. I said, are all those kids yours? He said, oh no, Miss Channing, I work for a condom company. These are all customer complaints. It's really a funny joke, you know. Anyway, let's see, so I couldn't take all those kids, but I do have a little doggy, and his name is Bogey. But when I call him, he wouldn't come, so I knew there was a problem. So I went to the vet, and he said, Miss Channing, he's got so much hair in his ears, I'm gonna shave it out for you. So he shaved out all the hair, and when I called Bogey, he came. I was so happy. He said, Miss Channing, in the future, buy some Nair. Put it in a dog's ears once a month. That'll do the trick. So I bought the Nair, and the druggist says to me, oh, Miss Channing, if you're planning on using the Nair under your arms, don't use deodorant right away. I said, I'm not using it under my arms. He said, oh, well, if you're using it on your legs, don't use a razor for a week. I said, I'm not using it on my legs. If you must know, I'm using it on my schnauzer. He says, oh, stay off your bicycle for a month. Yes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know that one of the best ways to promote yourself as a character is to have a good wig. Do you know that in the height of the Mary Tyler Moore Show's popularity, people were telling me I look like Mary Tyler Moore. Do you see it at all? Of course, you can't beat a good wig. Right, Janet? Okay. But it's like, oh, Rob, oh, Rhoda. Without that wig, believe me, it wouldn't work. Now, Mary Tyler Moore had a great show in the 70s, but another great show was called All in the Family, and we recently lost a treasure when Jean Stapleton passed away, and she was Archie Bunker's wife. Do you remember her name? Edith.
She said, did he say anything about your 56-year-old ass? I said, oh no, Archie, he never mentioned you at all. But I always loved the song that Archie and I did about the old days. Since he ain't here to sing it with me, I'll sing his part too. Maestro, please.
Boy, the way Glenn Miller played.
Songs that made the hit parade.
Guys like us, we had it made.
Those were the days. And you knew who you were then.
Goyles and men were men.
Mister, we could use a man like Herbert Hoover again.
Didn't need no welfare state.
Everybody pulled his weight. Gee, our old LaSalle and Grace. Those were the Well, it's a yes from me. I have to tell you what's been happening lately. Ozzy was touring with his band Black Sabbath, and they were doing something on stage with pyrotechnics, and Ozzy accidentally burned the whole side of his face. Well, the doctor said that he would need a skin graft, but that Ozzy was too thin to be his own donor, and that the skin would have to come from me. I could be the donor, but it would have to be from my derriere. That would be the only suitable skin. Well, Ozzy and I decided we would tell nobody about this. After all, this was a very delicate situation. Well, a month went by, and Ozzy healed so beautifully after the operation that his friends were astounded at his youthful beauty. His mother said, "My Ozzy never looked so good." One day, Ozzy came up to me privately and said, "Sharon, how can I ever thank you for the sacrifice you've done? How can I repay you?" I said, "Ozzy, I get all the thanks I need every time I see your mother kiss you on the cheek." Well, ladies and gentlemen, this next lady never had to audition for America's Got Talent because she's a legend in her own time, Miss Barbara Streisand. My favorite songs from a show called Funny Girl. Maestro, please. I'm the greatest star. I am by far, but no one knows it. Wait! They're gonna hear a voice, a silver flute. They'll cheer each toot. Hey, that kid is terrific. When I expose it, now can't you see to look at me that I'm a natural chameleon? As Camille, I just feel I've so much to offer. Hey, listen, kid, I know I'd be divine because I'm a natural coiffer. Some ain't got it, not a lump. I'm just one big lump of talent. And ladies and gentlemen, did you enjoy my talent tonight? Thank you. Oh, I enjoyed people's voice. You know what? I'm no longer Barbara Streisand, Joan Rivers, or Catherine Hepburn, or Fran Drescher. I'm me, Sharon Daniels, and I just want to say to all of you that now it's over. I hope you like my show, and there is one thing that you ought to know. Thank you, people. You've been lovely. You've been as lovely as can be. But the bottom line, you see, is that I am what I am, and you're fantastic. Thank you so much for having me tonight.
Sharon Daniels, ladies and gentlemen. Miss Sharon Daniels.